All right, so here we go. Josh is going to take us through the next step.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into loading the material and basically setting up a preset for that particular media category. So the first one we're going to do is self-adhesive vinyl, and the one we set up should work for any self-adhesive vinyl. It doesn't have to be one specific brand or thickness. It's gonna well, really, you might set up a separate one for your thicker mylar stuff, just because one of the things we're setting is the drop position. So it's basically the bidirectional alignment, the alignment printing this way and coming back this way, so the dots land in where they're supposed to. And a thicker material, those dots might land just a hair's breadth away, and just because it's got less distance to travel. So we might want to set up a condition or a setup for specifically for mylars, because it's a little bit thicker. It's really splitting hairs, so it's you want to do it, but sometimes it may not be that noticeable in the print. So we'll start out by loading material. I just wanted to kind of mention here what we'll do here with loading. You've got pinch wheels here that hold down the material, and they've got these little adjustments. Typically, when you load anything that you're going to be printing, anything that's going to be on media will be set to a medium pressure. When you're doing contour cutting, just the outside one. So if we have a material that's this wide here, so that it's going from 1 to 4, we'll have number 4 set to a high pressure and number 1 set to a high pressure, and everything else will have no pressure on it. That way it's not leaving indentations or tracking through the ink where we just printed. So to open and close the pinch wheel so that we can load material, you have the pinch lever here.
Hold on.
Pinch lever here, that raises and lowers the pinch wheels. So now
can you do that one more time? That's the lever that raises and lowers.
So now that the lever's in the down position,
and that would be right after you put your substrate in. You would put these down.
Once we get the material loaded, we'll lock that back down.
Gotcha.
There's a corresponding lever back there that raises and lowers too, so you can open and close it from the back side as well.
Gotcha.
These pinch wheels here, you're going to want to load your material so that you have a pinch wheel on the outside edges of the material to maximize your space. Basically, the printer knows how much printable area it has based on the outside pinch wheels being used. So you might have to move these around. They have to stay over one of these grit rollers, these silver areas here. So that this one could be here or here.
So you're just moving that by hand?
Yeah, I'm just sliding it on. There's like a rail that it slides back and forth on. So these can be moved around, but they have to be on one of these pinch wheels. Depending on what size material, you might have to go, okay, so it's going to be this wide, so I can get away with putting one here and one here, and I'll just use 4 or whatever. It'll make sense once we start loading different size materials.
Theoretically, though, you would only need 2, right?
Right. Yeah. You could have something that's just, you could load material that's, this wide, I guess, if you wanted to.
Okay.
And then you would just use the
if you're going to be
pinch wheels.
running the widest possible medium through it, though, you're going to want all 6 pinch wheels.
Yeah, you'll use all 7 of them. Yeah. So that would be 60-inch material.
And you're saying just this one and just this one are actually going to be applying pressure? There's not going to be even medium pressure?
Well, if you're printing, all of them will be down using even medium pressure. If you're cutting that material, you'll just have the outside ones holding a high pressure. So there's 3 different settings: high, medium, low. And the printer will actually, you can tell it what pressure to use, but the printer's going to set it by coming over here and clicking these little these levers into the position for that material, and that'll raise or lower the pinch wheels. So just wanted to give a quick little description of those, and it'll make sense as we go. You might use just 4 or 3, or you'll use all of them depending on the width of the material, and you might have to move them. Now the key there is if you were just using 2 and you had your material right here, but the edge of the material was over here, you're wasting this area because it's only going to use the space between this pinch wheel and this pinch wheel.
Does
so that's your printable area.
Does it measure from like The edge of the pinch wheel, the edge of the pinch wheel, or like the center of the
To
pinch
the
wheel?
to the inside edge of the pinch wheel.
Okay.
To the in-
Basically, you
to the
can't print
inside edge.
outside- Print outside of that area.
So the
you
inside.
want to try and maximize your space.
Right.
So that's that. We can go around, come around to the back, and we will load material. We got to unbox one of these.